Karen for Online Healing Community. Welcome to Creating Space. Today we're going to talk about joy and healing, and we have a team, our woo team with us. We have Modern Day Wizard, June Hebrew, Millennial Manghuhula, Lois Veloso, and Energetic Albalario, Chai Enerio. Okay, please help me welcome them. Hi, everyone! Thank you for being here. But I'll ask you, can you please tell the audience more about yourselves? Lois, you want to go first? You're on mute, though. Welcome to Creating Space. It's the first time for Lois, right? Si June, ano na to eh. Always here. Suke.
Suki.
Lois, you're on mute.
Hello, hello. My name is Lois. I am also known as the Millennial Manguhula, and I am a tarot consultant. I've been doing this professionally since 2019, and that's it. And I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here. Another first timer here in this space is Charisse Enerio. She is our energetic albalario. But can you tell us more about you, Chai?
Yes, hi
You're
everyone. I'm into energy healing mostly, but I also do tarot reads every now and then. I also do it professionally, but mostly I'm concentrated on energy work. So I've been, I'm a Reiki, I'm a certified level 2 Reiki practitioner. I also did Seraphim blueprint, and then I am currently studying as well traditional Chinese medicine, and I'm in my second year. 2 more years to go because it's the full 4 year shindig. And yeah,
right.
basically that's me in a nutshell. Oh, and I also do astrology.
Wow, that's a lot of healing modalities. You like studying China.
Yes, that's my Sagittarian sun sign there. Always studying. Study for me is like play. I don't get tired of it. I always look for ways to study other things. I'm interested in so many other things, but but mostly I would say for the past few years, I'm mostly into energy work.
Thank you, Chai. And we have with us modern day wizard, June Hebrew. Hi, June. Welcome forward.
Hi. Good evening, everyone. I'm June. I'm a psychotherapist and a teacher and a consciousness BARTS and an access BARTS facilitator and a consciousness coach.
Yay. I just have to say, titles pa lang, we haven't done anything yet. Ang fun-fun na nararamdaman ko na that this is going to be a really fun conversation. Yes. But we have to ask you, can you please briefly describe how you got into healing? You want to go ahead, June?
Um, so I took a life coaching course, and I think you're also familiar with it, Karen, right? And when I was a life, when I was being helped by life coaches, I really enjoyed the experience, and so after that, I pursued a career in life coaching. So I became a life coach, and then I studied to become a psychotherapist. So I became one, but something was lacking, and that was when I was introduced to energy work as well. So I took pranic healing at the same time Reiki, and I was practicing them, and something in me, something in me was being called that I know that we are in this reality where we treat mental health, right, with a lot of maybe psychiatric medication or psychological behavioral theory and the combination of those. And that was what I was first accustomed to. But then energy is something that was unexplored for me, but I also acknowledged its potential before to help clients because it helped me. Right, particularly in pranic healing, we were doing meditation on twin hearts, right? And when we were doing meditation on twin hearts, when I first experienced it, for the longest time I couldn't sleep, right? Despite a lot of positive affirmation that I was doing, a lot of psychological techniques that I was doing, a lot of what you call that, a lot of psyching up of myself. And then when I experienced meditation on Twin Hearts, which is meditation basically on drawing energy, right? That was the first night, okay, that I really had a peaceful sleep in a long time. And so I said, there must be something here that's unexplored, and that's energy. And so that's why after pranic healing, um, I I went on to study different kinds of energy modality. All right, so I elevated in different courses in pranic healing because there are stages. And then now I'm an arhatic yoga practitioner as well.
Mhm.
And after that, I got introduced to access bars or access consciousness, which is also one of my favorites. Okay, and after that, I was introduced to Reiki, and so wow, there's a lot of things to explore here, and I like where it's leading me. Actually, I like that it's light and fun for me. I like
Right.
how I'm having fun with life. So
Right.
yeah, that's
It
it.
shows on your face. So you were a client first before
I
you
was a
became a
client.
practitioner.
I had depression, all right, and I had anxiety all over my body. I had panic attacks that I did not know how to explain. I sought the help of different mental health professionals as well, and they were only able to help me temporarily. Like they would give me some activities that I would do. All right, I even tried different kinds of counseling method, and many of them worked temporarily, but none of them really worked long term. And now I'm enjoying access bars and pranic healing and Reiki because um, they really work. And
Right.
I don't have to really talk about now that I'm doing or pranic healing, Reiki, access bars. I don't really have to talk very much because sometimes I don't feel comfortable talking about the shitty things that had happened to me in the past because sometimes it's just heavy, all right, and it's just bringing me back to the heaviness of all it. And so I like what I'm doing now because it's light, it's fun, and now I'm able to help my clients as well. All right, realize that okay, so you don't need to have a dramatic life and a traumatic life for you to embrace the happiness that you like, right? So you can choose what's light for you, and it's one of my favorites in access consciousness is the tool of heavy and light, that the truth is always light, a lie is always heavy. And so for decisions I'm making, right, even just when I'm stuck, all right, okay, this is heavy for me, this is light for me, and it helped me learn more how to choose me and to choose what's light for me without guilt.
Thank you for sharing that, Jules. How about you, Lois? What's your story? What got you into tarot reading and into Reiki healing as well?
So, my aunt, her name's Olivia Veloso. She is a Reiki master and a tarot reader. And for the longest time, she's always, whenever she would come here to the Philippines, she would always talk about it to us. And it's always piqued my interest. So, I decided to just get a deck of cards on my own. And I just bought it. And then I started pulling out cards and I would read from the book, research, and I'd be like, wait a second, this this is exact to what's going on with my life right now. And so from there, I started self studying. And I did that. I was 23 years old. Forget what year that is, but that was a long time ago now. And I was just doing it casually for fun. I would do it to my friends, to my family, and I'm really enthusiastic about the whole reading thing. And then in, in 2019, or yes, 2019, I decided that I didn't really want to do a full-time job anymore, and I decided to just do tarot reading for work, but I thought I would do it temporarily. That was the idea. I was like, because I was pulling cards. I was asking, please give me advice what to do. Should I just do tarot readings while I find a job? And then the cards are always positive. It's like, yes, go for it. It'll be fine, like that. But of
Mhm.
course, it's different when you're seeing and you're hearing the message versus what your mind, the logic, the rational side of me was saying. So it was very scary to jump into it for work, for like a profession, because at that time I didn't know anyone actually. I didn't know anyone else. It was just me and then my aunt who I don't even see because she lives abroad.
Mhm.
So I just decided to like tell people the world, hey, it's Lois,
Yeah.
your millennial manguhula. It started there, and then it it surprisingly boomed because I didn't know people were actually into it. I
Mhm.
didn't think people would be open to that. And then years later, I decided to take Reiki from my aunt because she comes here once a year to teach
Mhm.
Reiki healing. And then that I also added into my healing modality. And then now on Sunday, I'll be taking Access Consciousness with you because I tried it with you.
Yay.
Yes. And also, I'm now starting with Astrology 101. So I'm trying to add new things in my arsenal.
So it looks like this is really the path you're taking. You're really initially you said that it was a scary jump. But now you're taking
Yeah.
yeah, but now you're really going through that path.
Yeah. I decided the thing about intuition is it just shows you the next step. It doesn't show you the complete picture. It gives you clues. But you have to trust in that because every time I've taken a decision that was logical, you know what I mean? Or it didn't feel the feeling. It didn't feel right to me. I always regret it in the end. It's like I knew it. I should have done. And then every time I've taken something that was really scary, but my intuition was like, you know, it's gonna be fine. You know, there's something special there. Just go for it. It's worked out better than I even imagined, actually. So, yeah.
Yay. Congratulations for like taking that jump. And then now really doing this healing. Now healing is your career, no? Galing.
Yeah.
How Thank you, Louis. How about you, Chai? What's your story?
Oh, well, my story is quite similar along the lines with June. It was actually because my dad got sick for the longest time, and so and we sought Western medicine help with that. And as time went by and his illness went on for quite some time, for a couple of years, I was thinking to myself, there should be other ways around it. And I was thinking that the pill pumping and all of that stuff, I mean, it does help, because it really does help. But I was like looking for something else, and so that's why I chanced upon Reiki. So I've always been interested in some other things, but so Reiki was actually the first energetic healing modality that I took way back a few years. um I wouldn't say when. That would tell my age. But anyway, so that's what started me on Reiki and energy healing. And then later on, I got, I was doing self-study similar to Lois as well. Doing self-study, doing some research, and then I found I've always been interested with acupuncture and how certain points in your body can actually, make make people like go to sleep or relieve pain and stuff. I've been reading about it, and then I've been seeing it on movies sometimes. And then I went into a lot of research about that, and then I actually then contacted several schools, and then I chanced upon the school that I like. And then, you know what, even though it's 4 years worth of study, and it I wouldn't say it's late in my life. I say study is for all ages. So I then decided to take the jump and do the 4 year thing. Because I think that um it's there are some courses with it that just offer like months, but I want to study like the theory behind it, to study it more so I can actually be a better practitioner in the future. So that's what got me into Chinese medicine. And it's all very interesting for me. I mean, because And but then I also love the energy work. And then as what I've just, as what I've concluded, that yeah, we do study the energy work, and it really helps. I mean, it has helped me, it has helped my family. But then I also want to do the 3D thing, the matter, and that's the body, because we do live in this 3D world. So I believe that it should be both like energetically, doing us good, and then also um physically. So that's why I love doing Chinese medicine as well as my energy work. And then I like fusing the two, because I feel like there's so much more, or so many much more benefits that you can have if you have both. So anyway, I've learned a lot of both. I also forgot to add, I studied access bars under Karen too, so I'm a certified bars practitioner as well. And so far, I love it. The few sessions that I've had, I think they've changed so many things. Like, I don't see it right away, but like over time I've seen so many things change as well. And so
Yeah.
yeah, so that's why I got into it.
Yeah, and something opened up for you during our access bar session, like a gift opened up for you. It was like, what
That,
happened? What happened? But
I
it's
know.
so interesting.
So interesting, yeah.
Yeah, so interesting. And today we're going to talk about joy and healing. And I don't see that together most of the time, especially in the Philippine setting. Usually, when you say healing, it's something sacred. When you cry, you are healing. But can you tell us how you opened up to this concept, joy and healing? And if you can tell us an incident in your story or a story in your life when you experienced joy in your healing journey. I want to ask June this first because I know like you mentioned, you had trauma in the past and you don't want to go back to the trauma. So, can you tell us how you transitioned into joy? At saka you're very, what's the term? What's your term? I don't know. It's not esoteric. Eh.
Yeah, maybe
Stoic. You're very stoic initially, like a monk, right? That was your energy before.
um, since arhat means arhatic yoga practice is basically founded on Buddhist teachings, which is non-religious, by the way, contrary to what other people would say that it is a religion. I mean, Buddhism is not a religion, and neither is Hinduism. Actually, they're just some spiritual practices that are misconceived and misinterpreted by a lot of people. But it all started there when I was treading in this path. All right, I met a few people who are also in the path who seemed as if they were lost, and that people who were close to them actually did not know how to handle them or how to deal with them because um, you know when you're inside a family, you are in a bubble, and the energy there is a bubble. So say you ask help from your sister. I'm not saying it's bad to ask help from them, or that I don't encourage it. As a matter of fact, I encourage it because they are the first or they are the immediate people in your circle that you should ask help from. All right, if it feels like it would create something for you. But the thing is, the energy bubble of the family is so strong. It's like you are in an echo chamber when you ask advice from them. And the thing is, you would like something more than that, not because your family is wrong, but because your family, as confined in the bubble, also has limited level of awareness as to what you're going through. All right. And so for me, joy was quite a journey, and my BS before, or bullshit or belief system before, it was that for me to be joyful, I had to go through the hole of the needle and struggle a lot, and that's why now it's just about choosing joy for myself, right? Particularly, I appreciate that in access consciousness that we are challenged by questions, constant questions. What if you're true nature is joy. No one has ever told me that or asked me that it's possible for me to have joy as my true nature. It's always been that you're here on earth, you have to suffer, right? And that you will not find your heaven unless you die first, all right? And that you have to go to do good deeds and all these belief systems implanted on me, when I was growing up. And so the concept of heaven on earth really was somewhat alien to me until I again, it all started with pranic healing when because the vision of pranic healing is really heaven on earth. And what the hell? Heaven on earth? I mean, how could that be possible? That there's heaven on earth when all the while I thought that, for me to experience heaven was for me to die first. All right. And so that was the starting point, all right, of my breakthrough to actually um, really being joy. Not about really understanding what joy is, because I think understanding joy is boring. But the journey is there, like being joy. Okay, what's being joy? And it's one of the keys to actually just create heaven on earth. And now in access consciousness is co-creation of consciousness, creation of a conscious world. And so I associated consciousness with heaven on earth, um, and that heaven on earth really is an inner state. It's not something you like to get to. It's something that's here right now when you're being. And so it was really quite a colorful journey for me. But now it's much easier, really much easier. And Lois and Charisse, Karen knew me before, and Karen has read my book, Healing the Inner Child. My journey there
So
was
traumatic.
so
I was
traumatic,
traumatized by the book.
frustrating, etc., etc. But
You
now,
have a book?
yeah,
He has a book.
The inner child. I didn't know that. Okay, cool.
inner child. And so now, I'm just so happy to be in a space where I know now that happiness is just a choice, and that um, joyfulness is actually my true nature and other people's true nature. And it also helps me help my client, um, that when I see them, I am without judgment, because I know also that deep inside them there's joy that's just waiting to come out when the opportune time comes up, but also without the necessity to actually force it out of them.
Yeah.
But
Because
we,
June's story was like a telenovela. I was telling him, what will it take for you to let go of all the theatrics and the drama and the trauma that you subscribe to, and everything that doesn't allow it can like destroy it and created it
yes,
and create it, please.
pod.
Because before it's really like when I was reading his book, it's like one trauma after another. And like the first time I met him, because I was supposed to interview him, I asked him, "Are you okay? Are you sure that
That
you're
was his
okay?"
That was her first question, huh? And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm okay, because it happened quite a long time ago. And my process in the book is very psychological based, all right, and very psychological based, and then it became a bit spiritual and then energetic by the end of the book. But it had to be a long journey for me, because I think I chose it because I did not know how to choose different. Okay, I was choosing differently the same thing, but until I have decided to choose different. And access consciousness is a very big factor of me allowing myself to actually be able to choose different. Like there's a different thing you can choose for yourself, and you are just choosing your suffering. It was um, it was really I was really a man in the mirror. I was talking to, oh my gosh, what would it take for you to stop choosing suffering? And I did not know before that I was choosing my own suffering. And
Correct.
then that
And Chai and Lois, would you want to react to what
I chose.
June said? Yes, thank you
Like
so much for
everything is
that.
just so relatable. Everything is so relatable for me. Everything that you're saying, especially on the topic of joy and like choosing suffering. We're not r- really choosing, you know what I mean? Because if we know it's a choice, then we wouldn't be choosing, but it's so we're so unconscious of
Mm.
the
That's right.
choosing because we're just so we just keep following the patterns of what's familiar to us, and it manifests in so many different versions, you know. So you think you've run out, you think you got out of like an old pattern, but it just shows up a different way if you're not fully in the present moment, if you're not fully conscious, if you're not here, if you're not again choosing joy or recognizing you are joy, you know. So yeah, I can really relate to you, June. Like,
I can't wait. I cannot wait to see you on Saturday. It's going to be a big conversation of woo woo ness.
I know. She was Lois was
Sidebar!
there
Sidebar!
last Saturday, like with Chai, and it was really fun. And as I told her, nga, she's not yet a practitioner, but she gets the energy that healing can
Yeah.
actually be joyful. Chai, what's your take on joy and healing?
Oh, well, I think, even though I went through, so many traumatic things, I would say also during, in a few years back. But then I think I would, I'm very grateful because I was born with a lot of optimism. That's my Sagittarian sun sign there. So it got me through a lot of things. I think I was just naturally happy. I think and most of my friends would attest that, they like hanging out with me because my energy is light. Like even if I'm, going through a lot of things, I don't, because when I'm out with people, because I like being out with people, hanging out with people, talking, trying to, just doing random stuff. I mean, everything that I do, I really like to make it a point that it's something that I enjoy. So that's why, even though I went through a whole lot of different difficulties in life, I would say my optimistic nature, or and I think I echo what Chun said. It's all about the choice. I would agree with that. It's really the choice to, like, okay, should I be happy or should I be sad today? Or, when I'm out
Mm.
with my friends, should I be masungit, or should I be grumpy, or, should I just be happy? And I find the energy of happiness or joy, I really like it, because it's light. And so, yeah, and me being naturally optimistic. So even if so many like nagbabagyo, I'll laugh about it. And I think that's why a lot of my friends say, I'm the joker of the group, and also in the family too. So like, yeah. So it's, and then it's really a choice. And sometimes, sometimes it's not so much, it should be an easy choice, to be honest. If we are really conscious, it should be easy because,
Right.
diba? I mean, why would you choose the other as compared to it? But sometimes, we're just human. So for a lot of people, or for us, sometimes, there is really that difficulty, but there shouldn't be,
And
because
we've been
it's so easy.
programmed that suffering
Yes,
is
exactly.
good.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
I
But
want
if
to
we
add
can choose joy.
something to that. Like, are we
Yes,
talking about
Lois.
joy now? Are we getting
Yes,
into that?
yes, yes.
Yeah, because I was contemplating on it earlier before we started. I didn't really prepare, but I was thinking to myself, I know I had a thought about this. I know I was thinking about this a few weeks ago, the idea of joy. And so I looked into my notebook. This is like my journal. It's the very first journal entry I wrote, actually. And it says here, happiness versus pleasure. This is what I wrote. That's the title of the journal entry.
I
If it's okay, that
wow.
I'll share.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Happiness versus pleasure, peace versus pleasure. Okay. So distraction is constant search for pleasure, and it does not give you peace. Um, um, okay, don't confuse joy with pleasure, because joy is not pleasure, joy is innate. Pleasure is in search of things outside of you. And then I wrote a little bit of something personal about myself here. I've compromised my being for validation. But even when I got it, it was empty because deep in my core, I knew I was being inauthentic to myself. So I think joy is kind of ties to our authenticity as well. I was thinking about that because when we're not true to ourselves, it's this is where the suffering comes, I think.
Yeah.
When joy is the most natural thing in the world, I think. Yeah.
And
Uh,
let me
Thank you for
let me
sharing that. Yes, June.
um not being you is the root cause of sadness that eventually builds up to different levels of sadness that now manifests physically,
Right.
right? Then it becomes maybe anxiety, panic attack, and then it becomes depression, and it roots from not being you. It just
Right.
roots there from not being you. And I
Speaking of
learned,
not being you, June, actually all three of you said yes to a woo party. But did you know that by saying yes to a woo party, you labeled yourself a woo too? So I just want to ask, like, what made you like embrace that part of yourself? Like, I'm coming out, I'm woo, I'm magical, I'm into the mysteries and magic too.
I think there's like when I heard the word woo woo, I'm not sure before, but now it's like there's not much significance and meaning attached to it. It's just woo woo. It's just something fun for me. It's not like it's not like I'm attaching it or I'm very much into labeling, or it's not even coming out for me. It's just that
Right.
it just unfolds naturally that oops, okay, boo boo. All right, okay, boo boo or not, I'm woo woo. Sometimes maybe not. Sometimes woo woo, but it's fun for me. I think the energy of woo is so much fun. I like it, and I did not need to really embrace it. It's just there. I mean, that's my experience. That's my experience. It's just there.
Yeah. How about you, Lois? What's
I'm
your
also not super attached to labels
point
kasi.
here?
If I
Yeah.
were then, I wouldn't even be calling myself the millennial manghuhula.
That's
To be honest,
true.
that's,
That's
that's how
true.
detached I am to like labels and things like that. Because to me, it's just another tool to get people to look, to observe, to
Right.
see, to be curious. And then I like the word woo because it's like woo, it's like that,
Yeah.
the sound of it. So like party.
Ahead.
And
Woo!
it's really going to be a
Yeah,
party. Like
Yes,
the woo.
woo
Di ba,
party.
Cha? You
Woo,
were there. We were
woo, like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
conceptualizing it. You want to add?
Yeah, well, for me naman, well, ever since I was young, I've always loved magic. Reading about it, whether it's fiction, fantasy, or doing research, I've always been attracted to that. So even way back in college, in college I say a lot of my friends called me the witch. And that was my internet handle, MIRC handle.
Oh,
That
cool.
MIRC tells me how old I am. But yeah, I mean that was already my handle then, and even during at work, I friends always say that I stood out because I was kind of, I dressed all in black, and I loved studying about about a lot of things, magic and all that stuff. I did that when I was younger, and still doing it because I love it so much. So my friends already labeled me like the witch. They call me the witch, and I love this one character in a fantasy book. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar. It's David Eddings' book. It's a series of fantasy books. It's all about the sorcerer and the sorceress, and they even attached my name to that of the main sorceress in that book, which is her name was Bulgara. And so my friends actually every now and then call me Bulgara because even then I really did, and I didn't mind if I stood out or if they thought I was weird. For me, weird was, I loved it. I love being weird. I love, I don't mind standing out because it was really. what I wanted and what I was interested in. But it can also double in so many other things. So I'm very flexible that way. But
Right.
I was really
Actually,
into that already.
so you're okay. It's okay if people call you witch, and your
Yeah,
friends
I
even
don't mind.
call you like the name of the witch in that book, right?
They've been calling me that ever since I was in college.
And you're happy
So
that you were being called that
yeah, yeah.
before.
I mean, I don't mind because I also do a lot of other things nowadays. So I mean, and I love it, and I love doing it, and it's really fun for me. Those
Right.
things. So yeah.
And it's still woo because for some of them, they're not yet familiar with the modalities that we'll be using. But of course, there are testimonials, there are scientific studies backing up what we're doing. Actually, Charisse is learning Chinese medicine for 4 years. Lois studied it. June has been studying. But for people who don't know your healing modalities, how can you explain it to them? Like, let's start with the millennial manghula. What is tarot reading, or what will they receive if they go to your session?
So for tarot readings, you'll basically my job is basically to tell you what you already know about yourself. You know, it's basically that. Like I'd like to think myself as their mirror that's talking to them. Because I come into these readings with clients with no idea what's going on. And so when I read things to them, whatever I see, there's something in their mind that's already like, oh yeah, this was at the back of my head and now it's coming to the forefront. And it allows them to discover another side of them that they had to accept or surrender to, so that they can start their healing process their own way. But my job is to just simply be the person that is, I guess, in a lot of ways, compassionate. you know I have to be the one giving them space in a lot of ways, to allow them to talk about themselves or discover another side. I'm just like, I would like to say I'm just the catalyst or the trigger that
Right,
helps
right.
them, but it's really just them.
Yes.
And I think it's like that in all healing modalities. it
True.
it allows the person, in a lot of ways, the it almost shows them a path. That's what it is. Yeah, it gives them another path that maybe they weren't open to before.
Right.
And anyway, people who are asking for the healing are already open, you know? And I feel
So
like,
you're more of a guide,
yes, in a lot of
Lois.
ways, yeah. I just show them what I see. Of course, we
Right.
talk, we explain like that. But I can't say I'm a therapist, I can't say it.
Yeah, but you're someone who holds space for them. You're a mirror for them. Right. How about moksha chai? What can it do for your clients?
For me, what I'm going to be doing on Saturday, it's a bit more rooted in the 3D. So because I'll actually be looking at your tongue, feeling or palpating the body. So it's a bit more physical that way. And Mock Sebastian, it's one of the treatment principles in Chinese medicine to introduce the yang energy into your body. So it's very beneficial for people who are a bit on the colder side. So it's like you have cold feet. That means you have kind of a cold constitution there, so that your body needs a little bit of warming up. So that's what moxa does. It introduces yang energy into your body. It helps with indigestion. It helps with joint pain. Because that's what they do here in the house. So here in the family, I also do that for my family members, but no one does it for me. So I'm trying to teach my daughter how to do it for me, so she can do it on me. So but
Mm,
because I'm the only one who knows how to do it, here's the house. So I do it for my mom, I do it for my sister, I do it for my daughter, I do it for everyone. So like it treats constipation. It For my mom specifically, I do it because it helps with her knee joint pain. Yeah, and then my daughter, she's constipated, so it helps as well move that so to have good digestion. So I also do it on myself, and then I get ashes on my body sometimes because
Oh.
you need to be there's that accidental burning. But when I'm with clients, I'm very particular, so I really like to tap it in because there's that the ash. But because I'm doing it on myself, no one does it for me, so I'm like, okay, I don't really know if the ash is gonna fall. That's why I'm not very conscious. So that's why I'm trying to train someone else here in the family to do it. Um so that's that. And one of the more interesting things that actually mock Sebastian can do, as some practitioners would discuss. You know how the baby is in breech position sometimes? It's
Mm-hmm.
breech, right? Like on pregnant women. So some practitioners of Chinese medicine, what they do, there's actually just a certain point in the foot that you moksa and then the baby turns. So that is really fascinating for me as a student. And so that's one of the things that I really want to learn because it could help a lot of people. And so yeah, so my the thing I'm going to be doing this Saturday, it's more 3D rooted. I'll be looking at doing a little bit of diagnostics, and then some palpation if
Yay.
patients will let me, and then we'll do the moxibustion treatment. Yeah.
Right. So Chai will take care of the body part. How about you, June? What will you take care of?
Um, all I don't know. I don't know really. No, because
Like with access bars, right?
access bars really and body processes. Yeah, and clearing, because we can do it live face to face. Clearing is so you can experience how clearing works. Maybe last time you have experienced it already, but mainly really opening up things that you can be more conscious about. Because and I learned it from Shannon that each ailment in our body, illness, physical pain, whatever that is actually rooted also in unconsciousness and anti-consciousness. And when you have received the message of your body to you, right, and you have received the message of the body to you, and you have become conscious of what your body is trying to tell you, then the pain actually just goes away with ease. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about access bars that sometimes you don't know because healing takes many forms, and sometimes it shows up in different ways than we expect. So also maybe asking questions that what if healing is showing up already and you're not acknowledging it?
Right,
Maybe
right.
shaking a little bit of their head into acknowledging that sometimes what we ask for comes in different forms than what we expect it to be. And so maybe allow people to become more open to receiving. Again, going back to the idea of being open to receiving what is and what else is possible. And yeah, ask a lot of questions.
Yay. What I love with this part is that it's very holistic. Like with Lois, it's mind spirit because you're also guided by the guides, right? And but you can also ask questions. With June, it's body, mind, spirit because you'll be touching body, but you'll also do questions. With Chai, it's really focusing on the body. So it's a very holistic healing party. But basically, I'd like to ask you, why should I come to our healing party? Why should we come to our woo party?
Mm.
Chai, you wanna go first?
Yeah, I just actually would like to add. That's why I also love access bars because I think, like in practicing Chinese medicine, also one of the as I've studied, also one of the bigger obstacles I would say to healing is actually in the mind, in the shin. So it's in the mind because some people are resistant. Although they show up, some of them are still resistant. So and then our mind is really a very powerful tool. It can make you sick, it can heal you, it can do a lot of things. You can do a lot of things with your mind. So that's what I love about access because I think it will help with the receiving part and with being open to to whatever it is that's coming for you in terms of healing. So yeah. Well, they should come because they'll get to experience a series of things that they might, that could be new for them. So it's interesting and it's also very holistic. Yeah, and that's what you should really come for. And meet us, meet new people who are in
Yeah.
these in these kind of interests. Yeah, I would say that's it.
Thank you, Chai. Actually, Lois has the same idea as you. She said it's best if people do the access bar session before they do the tarot reading, right,
Yeah.
Lois? And why should they come? Lois, you're on mute. Why should they come to our woo woo party?
Well, because it's gonna be fun. Join, and you're gonna meet new people, and then healing is available right here. You don't have to put any effort than just showing up. Actually, yeah, and
Okay, just show up.
yeah, and maybe it'll open up another path for you that would be interesting. Maybe that will make you closer to experiencing your purpose, or experiencing the joy that's already within you, and then allow us to help you get to that point.
Great. Great. Thank you, Lois. June, why should they come?
Um, if you used to hold a belief that healing is not fun, and that before you get healed, you'll have to suffer, and that before you get healed, you have to get through a lot of shit, and you have to step on a lot of shit and dirty your shoes. Come to the woo woo party, so that you realize that the healing is actually can be a fun process, and healing can be quick, and healing can
Right.
be immediate.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah. So if you don't
And the
like,
energy is really fun. Like this is not the first woo woo party. This is actually the second woo woo party. Because the first one was really so fun. Like it's most of the people in the party, we've known them for hours only, but it felt like we were longtime friends, right? Shai and Lois, you were there.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
really fun because when I came in, I thought everyone knew everyone already like pretty well, and I thought like, oh my god, I'm the first time the new guy, the new person here. And I was like, oh my god, what will I talk to them about? So I mean, I had that impression, but as it turns out, they just also met each other a few hours or like the night before only. And they were, I think they were watching or they were taking some classes. So I mean, I was amazed because it's like I thought these guys knew each other pretty well, or at least knew each other for like years. I didn't expect them to just have known each other like overnight. So it was pretty easy and light. It was really
Yeah.
fun.
How about you? How was your experience, Lois? With the first, and before it was a joke, let's do a woo woo party. Like we were just laughing
Yeah.
at it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Oh, it was so much fun. I didn't even know that there was another event going on. I came in for the
Yeah,
tasting.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, and then you invited me to join the community. I was like, okay, and it was so much fun to hear everybody, and everybody already has inside jokes considering everybody just knew each
Yeah,
other. I
yeah.
loved it.
So yeah, it's fun to be in a community, especially people are open to healing and energy work as well. So there. So if you want a community, a tribe, if you want healing, please come to the woo woo party. But if you want things to stay the same, yeah, it's okay. Don't come. If you don't want change at all, don't come.
We'll
So
honor that.
yeah, we'll honor that. It's like what Lois and Shai and June said. It's really your choice if you want to heal or not. So time's almost up. But last question for everyone: what are your parting words for everybody watching right now or will be listening in the future? June, you wanna go ahead?
um, um, choose you. Choose you, do you, be you. Yeah.
Oh, choose you, do you, be you. Connected to
Mm.
authenticity and joy that Lois kept talking about earlier. Lois,
Ah.
what are your parting words?
Do your best, and God will do the rest. And join,
Thank
join the
yeah.
Saturday. We'll see each other face
Yeah.
to face for the first time.
Yeah. So true. And it's fun. It's really fun. And Chai, parting words for everybody.
Hmm. I would say just be open and be open to the experience and
Nice.
come see for yourself. And
That's
let's
true.
be friends.
Yeah, that. I mean, we didn't intend it to
Yeah.
happen. That will eventually be friends. But we just most of us just met during the last Woo party, and now we're organizing this together. So
What
yeah,
else is
we can.
possible?
Yeah, we can actually be a tribe, or we can actually be friends. But please choose if you want to go or not. It's really really out up to you. But we all hope that you're open to something magical and fun. Okay, so that's it. Please join our party November 5 Saturday. That's going to be in Makati. The registration link is there. But if you don't want if you want things to stay the same, it's okay. Don't join. But I hope to see you. Click the link below. Okay, that's it for now, everyone. Thank you, Louis, June, and Chai.
Thank
First for saying
you.
yes to the party and for being here. Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone. Thank you for being
Thanks.
here.